Hey Lorain County wrestling fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Report, brought to you by our friends at Cobos Insurance. Cobos is locally owned and proud supporters of high school wrestling, so please consider Cobos for all your insurance needs. So let's take a look at this past week in the Lorain County high school wrestling scene. Let's start at that Maumee Bay Classic over at Oregon Clay, where we had a couple of local schools involved there. Avon Lake taking the better of the standings amongst our local schools, I should say. They took 9th overall, again, at that Maumee Bay Classic. Elyria Firelands and Vermilion were also in attendance there. And let's start with Elyria, actually. We're at 113 pounds. Keon McKinney, a guy that we've talked about a couple of times so far this year, he took runner-up at 113 pounds. He lost 4-0 to undefeated junior Colin Lambert of Buckeye, so certainly not a bad opponent to fall to. He's ranked number 1 in the state in Division II is Colin Lambert, again from Buckeye. So Keon McKinney of Elyria taking 2nd place to Colin. He had a nice day, certainly. And then for Avon Lake senior Jack Marconi, he took 2nd as well at 165 pounds. He was pinned by returning state champ Joey Blaze out of Perrysburg, who is ranked 2nd nationally. So again, a lot of real tough competition over at that Maumee Bay Classic. You don't expect anything different there. So an impressive showing for our local schools and a couple of individuals as well. Jack, again from Avon Lake, had a really nice title match run. He had a 7-5 sudden victory overtime win over Ashland senior John Metzger, who's number 11 overall in the state. Then he actually had a 6-2 win over River Valley senior Justin Stum, who's ranked 19th in the state. So Jack, again, not quite getting that championship home, but got a runner-up and had a couple of nice wins along the way. Elsewhere at that Maumee Bay Classic with Avon Lake, Nathan Perry, he took 5th at 138 pounds, and then Elyria's Connor Holm took 5th at 150 pounds. I want to shine a spotlight on Avon this week as well, where first-year head coach Mark Jane has his Eagles wrestling pretty well so far through the midway point of the season. They had a conference duel this past week against Olmsted Falls. They took the win over the Bulldogs 53-13, did the Eagles. A ton of individual champions here at 113 pounds. Tony Masco, Trey Doherty at 120, John Foy at 126, Owen Shard at 132, Mason Fitch at 138, Jackson Mauser at 150, Tommy Freeman at 157, Nico Calamaris at 165, Adam Schumacher at 175, 190, Ian Englehart, and then 215, Luke Vo. All individual champions there. So I know that was a lot of weights in the individuals thrown at you there, but wanted to give a shout out to those Eagles. A very, very impressive win over Olmsted Falls, to say the least. And they followed that up just 2 days later with a very impressive showing at the John Matucci Memorial Classic Tournament, the JMMC as they call it. Avon was actually your team tournament champion there. So a huge shout out to Avon for bringing home that team title. They had a couple of individual champions as well at 113 pounds. We've already mentioned him once, Tony Morosco. He had a very nice showing. And then at 175, Adam Schumacher, both bringing home an individual title as well. So Morosco and Schumacher having a really nice past week for Avon, performing well at the Olmsted Falls duel and then as well at the JMMC. So impressive showing there for Avon. They had 13 individual place winners as well at that JMMC, so very nice for them. And they've got a couple of conference duels coming up as well. They've got Berea Mid-Park on the schedule as well as Midview, and they'll also be at the Berkshire Battle for the Belt. So Avon very, very busy, and I do want to give them a shout out as well. That conference duel with Berea Mid-Park coming up, they will have that in honor of Caleb Keffer. If you're not familiar with him, he was a student and wrestler at Avon, tragically lost his life in an accident over this past summer. So Avon will be paying tribute to him and honoring him at that conference duel against Berea Mid-Park. I want to give some love to Keystone this week as well. They were team winners at the Husky Invitational, so a very nice showing for Keystone and their head coach Chris Von Driska. Again, team winners. They had a couple of individual champions as well. At 144 pounds, Diego Morales brought home an individual championship. That was actually his 100th win for his career, so big shout out to Diego for hitting that milestone. And Tristan Green, again, another one of those usual suspects from Keystone. He wins it at 157. And I got to give some love to Jesse Bolt as well from Keystone, his first ever career win at that Husky Invitational. So a shout out to Jesse for bringing that home. And we got to give some love to the ladies as we do each and every week here on the show. The girls from Keystone did very, very well at the Akron North Tournament this past weekend. Sage O'Brien and Emily Jurisic both bringing home individual championships. So a shout out to the Keystone boys and girls for a very, very impressive past week. A couple of Lorain County League quad duels that I want to go over real quickly with you. Keystone, Oberlin, and Wellington were all at Black River in what was a fun little 4-team battle. Keystone went 2-0 on the day, knocking off Wellington and Black River. The Pirates and the Dukes each go 1-1 as Oberlin goes winless on the day, unfortunately for them. And then elsewhere, Brookside, Columbia, Clearview, and Firelands were all in action. Columbia and Firelands each go 2-0 there, while Clearview and Brookside both go 0-2 on the day. So quickly, what's coming up as far as high school wrestling around the area goes? Well, we mentioned the Berkshire Battle for the Belt is coming up. Avon will be one of the participants there. A couple of other local schools, I believe, will also be involved there. You've also got the Knights Varsity Invitational at West Holmes. That should be a lot of fun. Another one of those long-time running events that, just brings a lot of good competition from around the area. And of course, we'll have more conference duels, both in the Lorain County League and the SWC. So it should be a fun rest of the month of January. So that'll do it for this week on the Matt Report. Again, brought to you by Cobos Insurance. For Kristen Bauer, I'm Rocco Nucci saying thank you for tuning in this week. We'll see you next time.